have it here. H. Bryant. And I love how these guys go by their initials. So I don't know what it was with your family, but because there's another one too. They have a son. One of them has a son, and he goes by his initials, and it's in the census, which is like. I think C is for Charles. I don't.
Clarence.
Oh, it's Clarence. That's right. Yeah. Because there's another one who takes the initial C, and I read later that it's actually Charles, which is Susan's son who drowned, who we don't know anything about. So H. Bryant is his older brother. His older brother gets typhoid fever. His older brother is in the graduating class with Carrie Langston back in Kansas. He gets typhoid fever. He goes to Kansas, and there's another newspaper article that says, who's coming back to town but H. Bryant? He's continuing his studies at the University of Kansas.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So this is another college that allows colors to enroll during this time period. Yeah, right? My alma mater. So this newspaper report is telling us he's even furthering more of his education, so he can go back and at this point he's been appointed principal of the Cherokee High School. So and there was a big infighting between the Native Americans and the 5 civilized tribes and the black population, because at this point the black population, or the mulatto population, black Indians, have outstripped population-wise the Native American population in Oklahoma. And that was in 1900. So before this state became a state, before Oklahoma became a state, the black population of black Indians, the persons that they owned and the persons who they intermarried with, had outstripped them population-wise. So there was a big controversy about H. Bryant becoming the president of this school, which was supposed to be for Cherokee children and mixed-race children, so black Indians. The Cherokees decided, we're taking our kids out. They took their kids out, and they renamed it the Colored High School. H. Bryant leaves. He goes to Kansas and gets some more training. Comes back to Oklahoma and gets typhoid fever. And Blanche brings him back to bury him in Perry. So he's there buried. A year later, his younger sister Blanche, who was getting her teaching degree, gets typhoid fever, and they bring her back and bury her in Perry. Eva Willis is very interesting because H. Bryant is now dead. His brother becomes the principal. Before he becomes the principal at Manual Training High School, he becomes principal for 1 year to take over his brother's position. He marries Eva Willis. This is very interesting. I really want you to look at this page here on Eva Willis. Eva Willis was owned by, her mother was owned by one of the civilized tribes. Civilized tribes was a term that they used in the 19th century, early 19th century, to mean that those were Native Americans who were the most assimilated, right? They agreed to be farmers, they're going to cut their hair, they're going to wear white man's clothes, they're going to take on Christian religion, and so they had this misnomer, or misnomer is the wrong name, I know, Professor Johnson, but throwing around my academic terms indiscriminately. They're now known by civilized tribes, right? Eva Willis' mother, and I have the papers here if anyone wants to read them, gets her enrolled to prove that she is indeed Cherokee, and she goes to the Colored High School. She's 16, she graduates at 16. C.B. Bryant is her principal. He marries her 2 months after she graduates from high school. What are you gonna do? Yes. So he marries her. She, like, well, I'm jumping ahead, like Alice's mother, Hattie Esco Bryant, inherits land rights, right, in Indian Territory. Eva Willis not only inherits land rights, she inherits mineral rights. So Wanda Bryant Hogan tells me that those mineral rights that CB inherits, she dies. Eva dies shortly after childbirth. He sells the property. and he retains the mineral rights. Then they find oil. Woohoo! So that was a very advantageous first marriage, right? So he marries her at 16. He inherits part of her mineral rights, her property rights. She dies. Those mineral rights, I don't know, Glenn, if you can tell me for certain. Wanda told me that those mineral rights are still in existence today. And then he marries Ruth Bryant. I don't know if I have a picture on Ruth. He marries Ruth. Ruth is, she's a wheeler, dealer, shaker in the town. She's a society woman, and she throws all the parties. So if you go through the Tattler, if you go through the Semeter newspaper, these are all black newspapers in the town, they're all in the society pages. Let's get to, because I'm getting the fingers from Dr. Courtney Van Brakel in there. So we've got Hattie Esco Bryant, right? She marries Jesse.
Yeah.
Jesse sets up the OK Furniture Store. And there's some pictures here along with Hattie's dolls and Roman art, right? As Choctaw, correct? Creek. Sorry, get my tribes mixed up. As Creek. So you'll see it there. So this is still, even though this is,